Warm welcome to Cheryl Silas. She's a registered dietitian, certified diabetes educator. She's an insulin pump specialist, certified sports nutritionist, certified onco-nutritionist, low FODMAP dietitian, naturopath, and also the founder and director of Nurture Health Solutions. Over to you, Cheryl.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that kind introduction. And at the outset, I'd like to thank the organizing team, Shilpa, Dr. Neeta, Dr. Anjali, and Dr. Agarwal for inviting me to speak on this very interesting topic, which is nuts and seeds and why is the trend catching on. Now, as we all know that if you look at Indian diets, and I think there is enough, sorry, my screen is, okay. So we know that the current Indian diets are very high in carbohydrates, especially refined grains such as polished rice and refined wheat, which account for more than 65 to 70% of total energy intake. However, there is enough evidence to show that Indian diets are deficient in MUFA, especially with only just around 7 to 8% of total energy compared to the recommended intake of 15 to 20%, and also low in omega-3 fats. And consumption of nuts, which is a rich source of MUFA, have been seen to be historically low in India. Now, if I've reviewed all the guidelines, the various guidelines, which is into diabetes, cardiac health, etc., and all the guidelines clearly state that we need to cut down the amount of saturated fat and replace with good polyunsaturated and MUFA fats. ISPAT guidelines also state that you can replace some unhealthy carbs with healthy PUFA as well as MUFA fats. And even the study by Sarah Siddleman is emphasizing the need to incorporate more plant-based diet with emphasis on nuts and seeds. Following a Mediterranean-based diet with nuts will definitely help to improve the cardiometabolic risk profile. Now, if you look at the nutritional value of nuts and seeds, if you see they are low in carbs, good protein, fat, healthy fats, the fiber, and it really works well, especially in the Indian population, which is consuming a lot of carbs, especially coming from the refined carbs, and the consumption of healthy fats is seen to be lesser. And as per the NIN, which is the National Institute of Nutrition, the recommended consumption for nuts is around 30 grams per day. It also helps to improve the protein quality when added to legumes and grains, especially when it is a vegetarian diet. Now, very important when we're talking about nuts and seeds is to consume it based on tolerance, especially in GERD, gastritis, IBD, and IBS. People having nut allergy should consume it with caution and see which nuts they're allergic to. And also very important is if you look at most of the study, it's done with raw unsalted nuts. They have a lower advanced glycation end products. However, some seeds may need to be roasted and powdered for better benefits. Now, if I've looked at all the nutritional profile of the various commonly consumed nuts, especially in India, whether you look at almonds, Brazil nuts, pistachios, walnuts, cashew nuts, and peanuts, they're a powerhouse of nutrients. They have bioactive compounds, very essential, good micronutrients, especially today in the COVID times, and we're talking about the importance of essential micronutrients in boosting immunity. These nuts become a very, very good food ingredient to actually incorporate in our daily diets. Again, when we're looking at the different kinds of seeds, whether it's your homegrown seeds like pumpkin seeds, you have watermelon seeds, flax seeds, sesame seeds, chia seeds, garden cress seeds, and sunflower seeds, again, very rich in their micronutrient profile, dietary fiber, as well as, it definitely helps to improve the cardiometabolic risk profile, as well as in certain conditions like PCOS, hypothyroidism, diabetes, lowering blood pressure levels. And there is enough evidence to show the benefits of nuts and seeds in our health. Now, when we look at all the different, health benefits that it has to offer, right from giving you healthy fats, they're low carbs, so very, very good, especially in diabetes. In type 1 diabetes, we use a lot of nuts and seeds, especially because they're low carb options and they work very well in between snacks when children are not taking insulin. They're low glycemic index, rich in micronutrients. Very important is they're cholesterol free. People who are vegan can consume nuts and seeds, and we often have them consuming nut or nut milk, which because they do not consume dairy, they're anti-inflammatory, they're gluten free, high dietary fiber, they have a high ORAC score, so good antioxidant potential, polyphenols, and they're also energy dense. So therefore, they help in heart health, PCOS, immunity, blood pressure, diabetes, weight control, cancer, celiac, and gut health. And there's enough evidence to show its benefits in all these conditions. Now, even if you look at evidence from India, emerging from India, we have a lot of studies done with nuts, especially pistachios, that was done with by Dr. Anup Mishra and team, which showed that incorporating pistachios in the diet has seen to have beneficial effects on the cardiometabolic risk profile of Asian Indians. Again, there's a study by Anup Mishra and Seema Gulati again, which talks about incorporation of almonds. And when you replace or when you incorporate 20% of the energy from almonds, it helps in improving the lipid parameters as well as the anthropometric and glycemic profiles of Indians. Again, there's a very interesting study done by Dr. V. Mohan and Sudha ma'am and group, which show that cashew nut consumption helps in improving your HDL cholesterol level as well as reduces systolic blood pressure levels. However, very important here is to ask our patients to have unsalted nuts, because most often when they hear nuts, they have a lot of salted nuts, and that will actually increase the amount of sodium consumption. Again, if you look at snacking in India, I think this is the basic concern. When we take dietary recalls, we see they're very unhealthy, very, very high in saturated fats and trans fats, as well as refined carbs. And the survey that we did with our patients when we were doing our study, we saw that the adolescents and young adults, 59.5% skipped meals and 69.2% snacked in between meals. 60% of Indians are consuming more than twice a day. They consume snacks, and 15% of them are seen to be super snackers who consume snacks 4 times a day. And I think today in the pandemic period, with children being at home, they're constantly consuming snacks, and even the adults, because they're bored and they sleep late, they're binging on Netflix, and the only thing that they have is snacks. And if you look at the cost effectiveness, because always people think that nuts and seeds are very expensive. And if you look at 15 grams of nuts or seeds, they give you around 600 calories. And if you look at the cost, ground nuts gives you around 2.50. It is for 2 rupees 50 paisa, almonds is 12 rupees. And if you look at it, it's pretty economical compared to the unhealthy snacks, because if you have a burger or a pizza, the cost is very high. And also it is very, very unhealthy in terms of refined carbs, bad fats, as well as the sodium content is also very high. Now, this is our study that we did, in young adults and adolescents in the age group of 16 to 25 years. And we used almonds as the, food ingredient as in an intervention trial. Well, in a population who are, in the adolescents and the young adults in the age group of 16 to 25 years with impaired glucose tolerance, by just incorporating, almonds as a snack, the study showed that it helped in improving insulin resistance. So it improved insulin sensitivity, the inflammatory markers, there were improvement in that, as well as it also helps to prevent the onset of diabetes much earlier on. So therefore, nuts become a very, very good food to incorporate in our daily diets. And it has got a unique composition, good micronutrient profile, low carbs, good amount of dietary fiber, protein, etc. And they are one of the healthiest snacking options based as food-based strategy to achieve better metabolic health in terms of improving insulin sensitivity, reduced inflammation, and lipid profile. However, though nuts and seeds have many health benefits, they are calorie dense and should be eaten in moderation. Thank you so much for your patient hearing.
Thank you so much, Cheryl.